And you're recording this, correct?
I am indeed. I've just checked Fraps' recording. Okay, right then. Forgive my croaky voice. Well, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, depending on which continent you are. Thank you very much for joining me on board the USS Fortitude. Today we are gathered here to pay our final respects to AriseAbove, or more commonly, as some people may have known him as Matt, which was his real name, but I think most of us would have known him as AriseAbove. I'm not a man of many words, but in tribute to AriseAbove, I'm going to say a few words, and then I'll open up the floor for everyone else. If you wish to contribute, please feel free. So, if everyone's okay, I shall start, if that's all right. Okay, when I first met AriseAbove, it was in the famous line of, "G'day mate, do you want to start an STF run?" And, forgive me, I can't do an Australian accent very well. We hit it off very much immediately as friends, really, I suppose. It's hard to explain. When you live in England and you live in Australia, there's a friendly rivalry that becomes of two people of two continents. There's always that banter of we shipped all the criminals over to Australia, which is a bit of an unfair statement, but was always many a laugh for myself and the Rise. We'd always joke about that. I think it's fair to say that Arise was one of the last and few people that you see in the universe and in the world in a whole where the man is really just a gentleman, and a very softly spoken gentleman. Someone that maybe necessarily didn't have the strongest voice. You'd never always hear him maybe in a crowd, but you would definitely feel his effects. You feel his presence, I think, is a fair word to use. And I was lucky enough to play many a friendly PvP with him. He was constantly trying to blow up the ship, and I think I'm just going to miss his friendship and his humour more than anything. I've never seen a man for all the years I've lived. I've never met a man who could come up with some of the best sense of humour, one-liners that came in the moment, and I'm going to miss those one-liners. I have fond memories of Arise charging into battle in one of his KDF ships and hear him screaming coming out the other one, which was quite a unique experience. And I will never forget his Ferengi Decora. I've never seen a ship that could outsmart some of the most elitist builds I've ever seen. But a very softly spoken man, and I'm going to miss his friendship enormously. So I'd like to open up the floor. If anyone else wishes to say anything, please feel free.
I can go next.
Feel free, Buff.
Arise. When I learned that Arise had passed on, it took the wind out of my sails. Because it was only days before that we heard him very very cheerful. And that's the way he was. He was always cheerful. He had that energetic sound in his voice. And we felt like the worst was behind him. But to describe him and the hope that we had, when one of the jokes that we put, and some of you probably remember it, we joked that we were going to have the Orions cross their legs for him. So, as far as a sign of, we're crossing your fingers, well, they're crossing their legs for you. And he loved it. And he was the type person that I don't care what was going on, he could make you laugh. And he was one of a kind. And so it took the wind out of my sails to find out that he had moved on. But at the same time, I'm glad that he's no longer suffering. I'm glad that I have had the chance to know him, because he has enriched my gaming experience, enriched my life just having known him. And it's neat how there are people like all of you that are here, and him as well, that we're scattered all across the world, but at the same time, we're friends. And, we have some true friendships, and it just means a lot. So it's like, I'm going to miss him. I really am going to miss him. And it's a sadder day that he's not in it, but at the same time, I celebrate the fact that he was in it. And because of that, he will always be there. Um, I'm, right now I can honestly say that in my backyard, in memory of him, I'm flying an Australian flag. And it is just in honor of him and his memory. He touched us. He touched me. And all I can say is that Arise, Matt, I hope that you made it there safely, and we will meet again one day.
Thank you, Path. The floor's open to anyone else who wishes to contribute.
I haven't had the opportunity to know Arise as long as you guys have, but for the brief time that I did have, he was just such an upbeat, happy person. I mean, I guess even at the worst of it, he just seemed to have, that cheerful disposition. And when you got to speak to him game one day, it was more of a fluke. I was on late, he was on early, I guess, depending on how you look at it. And it was so nice to be able to just to get to meet him, to add a new friend, if you will, to my my list, if that way. And just he great guy. I mean, I can rehash what you guys have said already, and it's all true. I mean, he always there with the quick word, or an attaboy type of deal, and just seem all around good guy. So, I know, I mean, he will be missed. He will. I mean, he weren't quite as bright as they used to with him not there.
Thanks, Phoenix. Is there anything else anyone else would like to add?
Hey. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't know Arise really well. I think he was already sick and in the hospital at around the same time I started playing. But like just on the forum and his interactions with all of you and everyone else, and always quick to help and quick with a joke, and so positive about his own situation, and that's really something you can be you can really admire. There could be a lot worse ways to look at how his sickness was than the way he chose to look at it, and that was a real testament to his character as to who he was. I guess that's really it.
That's okay. Would anyone else like to add anything else before I finish with closing statements?
I'll say one more thing, and it's that it says something that so many people have noticed his passing. And it's not just in this game, but in other games, because we've had people come on our forums and point us to other spots to show how he has touched them as well. And he is a dedicated person. I mean, beyond belief. He touched so many people. And it's even more incredible because here he is in Australia and he's touching people around the world. And I hope that his family and his friends that are back home end up hearing more of these stories so that they know how much he has touched all of us and how much he is missed. There's a reason why Gates of Stovacor mentioned his passing, at the end of our last episode. It's because he is a person that is worthy of being mentioned and remembered. He's a friend to us all.
Yeah. If everyone has anything else to add, please feel free. If not, I'll finish with a closing statement, if that's okay. Okay, well, I'd like to say thank you for everyone for attending, and I know there are other people that would have liked to attend it but haven't been able to be able to be here tonight. So this is part of the reason why I wanted to record this, so that people could join the memorial in their own special way. And today is a special day in Britain, Great Britain. The 29th is actually a memorial day for people in the British Armed Forces. And those that are familiar with me know that I have a strong affiliation. I have a lot of family in the armed forces. And the reason I mention this is that in this universe in which we play in here in Star Trek Online, our crews, our bridge officers, our duty officers, our captains themselves are heroes in their own right for Starfleet, or for the Klingon Empire, or for the Romulan New Republic. And as such, I consider Arise to be one of those heroes. And he's one of our fallen heroes. And I'm going to miss him terribly. I'm very sad to see him go. It's very unusual. When you strike a friendship and they strike very instantly, you know that they're one of those once in a million friendships that come into existence. Pathfinder here, General Hulk, is one of those friends. Those close friends you can only count really, normally sometimes on maybe just one hand. You may have 4 or 5 of those friends that you consider that risk would, if they asked you something very risky or something that was so serious that you wouldn't even think twice about it, you'd do it. And that's how I feel about Arise. If he had asked me to do something for him, my friendship would have been that I would have dropped everything for him and done so. And it's my one regret is that I couldn't get over to Australia. I would have liked to have been able to be there to see him. But I'm going to miss my friend, and I consider him a hero in the way that he dealt with the leukemia that he was suffering. He just did phenomenally well dealing with it, and I think credit to him that some of us maybe didn't even realise just how serious his condition was at the time, but he never lost track of that. He just kept soldiering on and always saw the positive out of it. So I'm going to miss him a lot, and I hope he's at peace and at rest now and enjoying himself wherever he be. Whatever happens now is, well, we don't know ourselves, but I'd like to think it's there's so much in this universe that there is something there afterwards, and I think he's enjoying it, and hopefully I'll be able to see him again soon. So thank you for listening to me, and thank you for joining me at this memorial. I'm very pleased that you all were able to make it, and for those that can't, this video, which will be going online later, will be for those that couldn't attend. So thank you very much. Any last thing anyone would like to say? The floor is open. If not, we conclude the memorial at this very moment in time. Thank you. And that draws a conclusion to the memorial, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending on the Fortitude.
Godspeed to Arise.
Hear, hear.